Thinking about launching your dream business in Northwest Georgia? Perhaps you've got an innovative tech startup brewing in your mind, or maybe a charming local boutique ready to open its doors. You've got the passion, the product, and the drive, but then that little voice pops up. What about the paperwork? How do I actually make this legal? It's a question that stops many aspiring entrepreneurs in their tracks. Northwest for Georgia Business Filings? The phrase itself can sound like a bureaucratic maze, filled with confusing forms, hidden fees, and endless red tape. But here's the good news. Navigating business filings in Northwest Georgia, and indeed across the entire state, is far more manageable than you might imagine. It's a clear, step-by-step process designed to get your business up and running legitimately, protecting both you and your customers. This isn't about some obscure, localized set of rules unique to Northwest Georgia. When we talk about business filings, we're primarily referring to the procedures set forth by the Georgia Secretary of State. Whether you're in Rome, Dalton, Gainesville, or any of the vibrant communities that make up Northwest Georgia, the fundamental requirements for establishing your business entity remain consistent across the state. What might differ are local permits and licenses, which we'll definitely touch upon, but the core state-level registration is universal. So, let's demystify this process. We're going to break down everything you need to know about Georgia business filings, focusing on what's relevant for anyone looking to establish a presence in the Northwest region. From choosing the right business structure to understanding your ongoing compliance obligations, this comprehensive guide will equip you with the knowledge to confidently file your business and set yourself up for success. First things first, before you even touch a single form, you need to make a critical decision. What type of business entity will you be? This isn't just a formality. It has significant implications for your liability, how you're taxed, and the administrative burden you'll face. The most common business structures in Georgia are sole proprietorship. This is the simplest and least regulated form of business. As a sole proprietor, you are the business. There's no legal distinction between you and your company. This means all profits are yours, but also all liabilities. Your personal assets are not protected from business debts or lawsuits. Sole proprietorships generally don't need to register with the Georgia Secretary of State. You simply start operating. However, you might need local business licenses or permits. Partnership. If you're going into business with one or more individuals, a partnership might be your structure. Similar to a sole proprietorship, general partnerships typically offer no personal liability protection for the partners. All partners are usually jointly and severally liable for the partnership's debts and obligations. There are different types of partnerships, like limited partnerships, LPs, and limited liability partnerships, LLPs, which offer varying degrees of liability protection. LPs and LLPs do require filing with the Georgia Secretary of State. Limited Liability Company, LLC. The LLC has become incredibly popular for a reason. It offers the liability protection of a corporation with the pass-through taxation benefits often associated with a sole proprietorship or partnership. This means your personal assets are generally shielded from business debts and lawsuits, and the business's profits and losses can be passed through to your personal tax return, avoiding double taxation. Forming an LLC requires filing articles of organization with the Georgia Secretary of State. Corporation, C Corp or S Corp. A corporation is a separate legal entity from its owners, shareholders. This provides the strongest liability protection, as shareholders are generally only liable up to the amount of their investment. Corporations also offer more opportunities for raising capital and have a more formal management structure. However, they are subject to more stringent regulations and often face double taxation. The corporation pays taxes on its profits, and then shareholders pay taxes again on dividends they receive. An S corporation is a tax election that allows a corporation to avoid this double taxation by passing profits and losses directly to the owner's personal income without being subject to corporate tax rates. Forming a corporation requires filing articles of incorporation with the Georgia Secretary of State. Choosing the right structure is crucial, and it's often advisable to consult with a legal or tax professional to determine which best suits your specific business goals, risk tolerance, and tax situation. Once you've settled on your business structure, especially if it's an LLC or corporation, The next major step is naming your business. This isn't just a creative exercise. It involves legal requirements. Your chosen name must be distinguishable from other registered entities in Georgia. To check name availability, you'll use the Georgia Secretary of State's online business search. It's a free and essential tool. Pro tip: have a few alternative names in mind, just in case your first choice is already taken. If you find an available name but aren't quite ready to file, you can often reserve it for a fee, typically for 30 days, giving you time to prepare your documents. For LLCs and corporations, your chosen name must include specific designators like LLC, LLC, or Limited Liability Company for an LLC, and Corporation, Inc., or Company for a corporation. Make sure your proposed name adheres to these guidelines. A critical requirement for most formal business entities, LLCs, corporations, and some partnerships, in Georgia is appointing a registered agent. This is a designated individual or entity with a physical street address in Georgia, not a P.O. box, who is available during normal business hours to receive legal documents, such as service of process, lawsuits, and official government correspondence on behalf of your business. Your registered agent acts as your business's official point of contact with the state. This individual or entity must be reliable, as failure to receive important legal notices can have severe consequences for your business. You can serve as your own registered agent if you meet the requirements, or you can appoint another individual, or even a professional registered agent service. Many businesses opt for professional services for convenience, privacy, and to ensure compliance, especially if they operate remotely or don't have a consistent physical presence during business hours. Now, we get to the core of Northwest for Georgia Business Filings, the actual submission of your formation documents to the Georgia Secretary of State. For limited liability companies, LLCs, you'll file articles of organization. This document officially creates your LLC in the state. You can file online or by mail. The online filing fee is typically $100, while mail-in filings might have a slightly higher fee due to a paper filing service charge. The articles of organization will generally require information such as the name of your LLC, the street address and county of your initial registered office, the name and address of your initial registered agent, the mailing address of your principal office, can be a P.O. box. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.